Equatorial Guinea, one of Africa's smallest yet most unique nations. Tucked away on the west coast of Central Africa, it's a country that often escapes the world's attention. But its story is anything but ordinary. But why does its name link both the equator and the Gulf of Guinea? The answer is more than just a matter of location. It's a reflection of centuries of exploration, shifting borders and cultural encounters. The answer lies in its geography and history. Over time, explorers, traders and colonizers all left their mark, shaping not just the land but the very identity of the nation. Located in Central Africa, Equatorial Guinea is the continent's only Spanish-speaking country, a legacy of its colonial past. Spanish remains the official language, echoing the era when Spain controlled these lands, even as local languages and cultures continue to thrive. Its territory is split between the mainland, called Rio Muni, and several Atlantic islands. The largest island, Bioko, is home to the capital city Malabo, while Annobon, a remote volcanic island, lies far to the south, actually just below the equator itself. This scattered geography is key to understanding its name. Few African countries are so defined by both land and sea, with communities separated by hundreds of kilometers of ocean. The name Equatorial Guinea is a map and a story, reflecting European exploration, colonial rule, and the nation's quest for identity. It's a name that hints at the country's layered past, from indigenous kingdoms to colonial outposts. The mainland is covered in dense rainforest, teeming with wildlife and biodiversity, while the islands are volcanic and lush, shaped by ancient geological forces and ocean winds. The country's name combines a broad regional identity. Guinea, a term once used by Europeans for much of West Africa, with a precise scientific marker, equatorial, referencing its proximity to the equator. This fusion captures the essence of a small nation with a distinct character, situated at a pivotal point on the globe. It's a crossroads of continents, cultures and histories, all converging in one remarkable place. Understanding the name means understanding the country's journey from colonial borders to independence. It's a story of resilience, adaptation and the forging of a new national identity. It's a name that invites curiosity and rewards it with a fascinating story, one that continues to unfold with every new generation. To understand the Guinea part, we need to look at how Europeans labelled Africa's west coast. Guinea was a broad term used by Portuguese explorers in the 15th century for the entire western coastline from Senegal to Angola. The name likely comes from a Berber word meaning land of the black people. Europeans divided the coast into regions like the Gold Coast, Ivory Coast and Slave Coast based on trade goods. Guinea became a commercial concept, not a precise location. Colonial powers attached their names to it: French Guinea, Portuguese Guinea and Spanish Guinea. So, Guinea in Equatorial Guinea is a colonial inheritance, connecting it to a shared regional history. It's a reminder of how outsiders drew the map and named the land. The colonial story of Equatorial Guinea began not with the Spanish, as many might assume, but with the Portuguese explorers who first set foot on its shores. In 1472, the Portuguese navigator Fernão do Po discovered the island now known as Bioko. Struck by its lush beauty and dramatic coastline, he named it Formosa, meaning beautiful in Portuguese. This marked the beginning of European involvement in the region. Not long after, the Portuguese claimed Annobon, another remote island in the Gulf of Guinea, further expanding their influence along the West African coast. For centuries, these islands served as Portuguese outposts, acting as key hubs for the transatlantic slave trade. Forts and trading posts dotted the coastline, shaping the region's early colonial history and connecting it to global trade routes. In 1778, a pivotal treaty saw Portugal cede Bioko, Annobon, and mainland rights to Spain in exchange for territory in Brazil. This transfer marked the end of Portuguese dominance and the start of Spanish ambitions in the region. Spain's early attempts at colonization, however, were fraught with challenges. Disease, unfamiliar terrain, and resistance from local populations made it difficult for the Spanish to establish a strong foothold at first. But by the mid-1800s, after decades of struggles, Spain finally established firm control, officially creating the colony of Spanish Guinea and beginning a new era of administration. Under Spanish rule, the islands and mainland saw the rise of cocoa and coffee plantations, which became the backbone of the colonial economy. The Spanish language was introduced and became widespread. Catholicism also took root, with churches and missions spreading across the territory, leaving a deep and lasting cultural imprint that is still visible today. The name Spanish Guinea became synonymous with the territory's colonial status, a label that would remain until the winds of change brought independence in 1968. The legacy of this era is still evident in the nation's architecture, language, and cultural traditions, setting the stage for Equatorial Guinea's modern identity. The transition from Spanish Guinea to Equatorial Guinea in 1968 was the final step towards sovereignty, marking the birth of a new nation and a new chapter in its history. The Equatorial, in Equatorial Guinea, pinpoints its unique geography. While most of the country lies just north of the equator, the island of Annobon sits south of it. This makes Equatorial Guinea one of the few countries with land in both hemispheres. Upon independence, including equatorial in the name, highlighted this rare feature and set the country apart. It was a move away from colonial labels, embracing a neutral scientific identity. The equator also hints at the country's tropical climate and lush rainforests. Equatorial is more than a line, it's a statement of place and environment. In 1968, independence brought the challenge of choosing a new name. The leaders wanted to shed the colonial Spanish Guinea and unite a diverse, fragmented territory. They kept Guinea to honor regional ties and history, but dropped the colonial prefix. Adding equatorial was a masterstroke, geographically precise, neutral, and inclusive. It avoided ethnic or political divisions, giving all citizens a shared identity. The new name declared independence and uniqueness, a republic in the Guinea region straddling the equator. Equatorial Guinea became a symbol of a new era. It marked the nation's break from colonialism and its place on the world stage. The name has defined the country ever since. Equatorial Guinea isn't the only Guinea on the map, which can cause confusion for many people trying to understand the region. In fact, there are several countries with Guinea in their names, each with its own unique history and identity. Its neighbours include the Republic of Guinea, once known as French Guinea, and Guinea-Bissau, which was formerly Portuguese Guinea. These countries are all located in West Africa, clustered along the Atlantic coast, and their proximity often leads to mix-ups, especially for those unfamiliar with African geography. To help set itself apart, Guinea-Bissau added its capital's name, Bissau, to its official title after independence. This small but significant change was meant to avoid confusion with its larger neighbour, the Republic of Guinea. All these countries inherited the Guinea label from European colonialism, but their languages, traditions, and cultures are remarkably different. Equatorial Guinea speaks Spanish, Guinea uses French, and Guinea-Bissau's official language is Portuguese, reflecting their colonial pasts. Far away on the other side of the world, Papua New Guinea in the Pacific also shares the Guinea name. This was given by a Spanish explorer in the 16th century who thought the people there resembled those living on Africa's Guinea coast, despite the vast distance between them. The Papua part of the name refers to the local people's distinctive curly hair, which early European explorers found striking and different from what they had seen elsewhere. These Guineas are linked by a colonial naming legacy, but each has a unique story, shaped by different languages, peoples, and paths to independence. Their shared name is a reminder of how colonial history can echo across continents. Equatorial Guinea stands out for its Spanish language, its equatorial location, and its blend of African and European influences, making it truly distinct among the Guineas. The existence of multiple Guineas highlights the global impact of colonial naming, showing how explorers and colonizers left their mark on maps and identities around the world. Today, these countries are forging their own paths, redefining what it means to be Guinea in a post-colonial world, and placing Equatorial Guinea's story in a wider context of national identity and pride. The name is both a connection to a shared past and a distinction that highlights each country's individuality and journey. The name Equatorial Guinea is more than just a label. It's a reflection of a complex and layered identity. The country blends deep indigenous African traditions with a strong and lasting Spanish colonial legacy. The Fang people dominate the mainland while the Bubi are native to Bioko. Other groups add to the nation's rich cultural mosaic. Spanish is the official language, making Equatorial Guinea unique among African countries. French and Portuguese have also been adopted to strengthen regional ties and foster international connections. The nation's cities mix Spanish colonial architecture with the energy of modern life. Cuisine and religion blend African roots with Spanish influences, creating a truly unique cultural fusion. Catholicism is widespread, often mixed with traditional beliefs and local customs. The name Equatorial Guinea captures this convergence: African geography, colonial history, and a global identity all in one. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and let us know which country's name you want to explore next in our series.